41 in the first. They had a 20-point lead. Second quarter, we would add injury to insult for Golden State. Pay no attention to KCP's layup. Just watch Draymond Green. We're going to give you a closer look at Draymond Green's ankle here as he will come down on the foot of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Green would leave the game and would not return with an ankle sprain. Frankly, it wouldn't have made a difference. Watch this here. These are the final seconds of the first half. Off a miss. Here comes LeBron spotting up and knocking down the three. As the buzzer sounds, the Lakers scored 73 points in the first half last night. They were up 73-44 at the break. Third quarter, the lead is 30. LeBron is still on the floor, though he wouldn't be for much longer. Here's a little inbounds for Markieff Morris, the two-hand jam. He scored 13. The lead is 32. Later in the third, LeBron on the wing. He wouldn't play the fourth quarter. He would finish with 19.6 boards. Lakers dominate Golden State last night in what feels like a little bit of a statement game. And look who has gotten up with us early this morning. We got Kendrick Perkins. We got Zach Lowe. Good morning, gentlemen. And Big Perk, before we get to what is going to be the subject of the day, let me just get a quick thought on that game. The Lakers have been struggling. They've been losing. Last night, a magnificent performance. How big a deal is that? How important a night was that last night for LeBron's team?
Well, it's very important, Green. And let me tell you this. Every chance that LeBron James gets to put the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry across his lap and give them a spanking, he's going to do just that. But Dennis Schroeder has been the key. This guy gives them swagger. Yes, LeBron and Anthony Davis are the best players on the team, but he is the heart and soul of this team. He picks up 94 feet. He brings that defensive tenacity. On the offensive end, he is the other guy that can create for himself and create for others. So the biggest thing for the Lakers, not just last night, but the game before that, is getting Dennis Schroeder back. He gives them that swagger.
So we'll see if they can finally put together a bit of winning streak. But Zach Lowe, there's a reason I wanted you on today, because I got something ready to go on the radio today that would fit perfectly into the Low Post podcast. And this takes us back to Saturday night. If you were watching the game on ABC, Luka Doncic, the day before he turned 22, by the way, put on a huge performance for the Mavericks on Saturday night that left James Harden of the Nets saying this.
He never lets anyone speeds him up, and he gets what he wants. You know, and that's rare for a guy, you know, at a young age. I think he's, 21 years old, to be able to dictate the game and control the game like he does. So, obviously, we all know he has a very, very bright future, and the Mavs got a special one.
So when Harden said that, Doncic was 21. He turned 22 yesterday. So, Zach Lowe, if you were starting an NBA team right this minute, and you could choose from every single person walking the face of planet Earth to start it with, I would contend that right now the best choice would be Luka Doncic. Zach Lowe, what do you say?
You and I are in agreement, Greeny. I think when you consider age, you just said he's just turned 22. I think the answer is clearly Luka Doncic. And I've said this before on this show when we did Luka or Giannis for this question. My favorite thing about Luka is I can get any kind of player to play with him because he can shoot. Ignore his so-so three-point shooting percentages. Those are because he's taking crazy, difficult step-back threes. He can shoot, he can pass, he can play any position almost on the floor except center, I guess. So I can get any kind of player to build around him. The only real competitors at this point are Zion Williamson, because of what we've seen from Point Zion, which is frankly terrifying, and someone who hasn't been drafted yet, like a Cade Cunningham or somebody like that. I think of everyone in the NBA, when you consider age especially, the answer is clearly Luka.
Kendrick Perkins, why are you making those faces at us?
Yeah, because I knew that, Greeny, I knew you and Zach Lowe was going to run my blood pressure high with this question, okay, and these answers. And look, I'm not taking anything from Luka Doncic. He is a special player, and he is 22 years old, and I get all that. But he has a lot of miles on him. Let's not forget, he's been playing professional basketball since he had Similac on his breath, okay? When I look at a guy that I'm going to take to start my team today, if I had to draft a guy number one, it would be Joel Embiid. He is the closest thing. He is the 275-pound Akeem Olajuwon. Special talent, averaging 30 points and 11 rebounds. And by the way, you talk about youth, he's only 26 years of age. He haven't even reached his prime. And guess what? He's on the verge of probably winning the MVP. The last four people to win the MVP, averaging 30 points and shooting 50% from the field, was Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Michael Jordan on back-to-back years. So, look, I understand the Luka conversation. I'm not taking anything away from him, but give me Joel Embiid any day of the week right now.
Get him, Zach.
I don't need to get Perk, but we're talking about a lot of mileage. Joel Embiid is 4 years older than Luka Doncic with all those scary foot injuries in the rear view. I mean, I love JoJo. I said last week I would vote him MVP if we had to vote right now. It would be a very, very close race, but he would get my vote. I just think the injuries, if they don't disqualify him from this kind of conversation, it comes close because people are scared about what happens down the road. But I love JoJo. I think that's a totally fine answer, but I still go Luka.
Go ahead, Kendrick.
But Zach and Greeny, this which I have to understand is that Joel Embiid didn't really start playing basketball until he got to the United States, which was 1 year before he went to Kansas. So let's not act like it's a lot of mileage on his body. And then he really set out his first 2 years of his season. So what I'm saying is he still have a lot of basketball left at the age of 26, and he haven't even hit his prime yet. He go hit his prime when he turned 27, but he still have about 10 years of playing at this level. We don't know how long Luka Doncic got to play at this level that he's playing at. It's not like he have a physical build like a LeBron James. He actually have a whack body like Kendrick Perkins. And what a whack body is, I'm going to give you the definition. I'm going to give you the definition of a whack body, Green and Zach Lowe. You could try as hard as you want to stay in the weight room and try to get ripped up, but you'll never get that six-pack. It's always going to be the two-pack with the little flab hanging over the front line, all right? So that's what we're talking about this morning.
Fair enough. I will say this, and I'd love to just continue this a little bit later today. If your argument is that you think that Luka Doncic is an old 22, then that strikes me as an interesting position to take. But I always love to give and take. I love you guys. Thank you very much for getting up early with us here today. We'll do that one on the radio a little later as well. As we continue, however, here, the standoff between Dak and the Cowboys continues. Dak has all the leverage, but does Jerry Jones have one shocking move he could make? We'll tell you what it is and why it would work. Plus, Drew Brees did something this weekend that may completely